Hey guys, it's Mallory Woodfin. I'm going to show you another start to finish edit. This is one of my seniors from this fall. He was really great, had some excellent looks, and I also wanted to show you a darker complected skin tone and ways that you can edit with that. So he has a very olive skin tone. So in my style, whenever I edit a little bit darker, it tends to get muddled. So I'm going to show you how to kind of correct some of those things. So here we go. Here's my original image. I shot this with my Sigma Art 50mm, wide open, 1:3200. My ISO's at 250. I don't like to keep it very high. And I'm gonna use my Tribe photo company. I'm gonna use the Wolfpack set. And I like these that are a little bit warmer. So I'm gonna go with Wolfpack probably 4. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, that's more of my jam. I'm gonna take the grain off of these, just because my senior moms tend to like a cleaner image, and I don't think it's appropriate for his session. So this is kind of where I would keep his settings at. I don't crop my images almost ever unless I have something I can't clone or layer out in Photoshop and I absolutely have to crop it, or if I'm cropping it for a specific size, I compose it, set it, and then make it happen. So in here, I'm going to take a little bit of the adjustment brushes. I'm just going to pop a little iris enhancer in there to see if I can see any catch lights. It was very overcast, which is one of my favorite times to shoot. But sometimes my clients with darker eyes, especially him, darker complected with darker eyes, it's harder to really show off those highlights from any little bits of the sky. So I already went over it. Here is my mask overlay from the iris enhancer, and I'm going to click that off so I can kind of see how bright I want to take the exposure. His right eye is showing a teeny bit more than his left. I mean, you can see what you can do if you want to really overly expose it, but I just want a hair of highlights. So that's about right. So I didn't do too much. I'm also going to clean up his skin just a little bit. I remember, I think that was one thing that they wanted me to address. I always ask my clients if there's anything that they're insecure about. Also might take this up an exposure notch. Yeah, right about there. I think that's really good for him. So that's about all the adjusting I'm going to do. I used my Wolfpack preset, removed the grain, and just adjusted the eyes just a smidge. So I'm going to take you into Photoshop, because that's what I always do. I wonder if people wonder what I do all day. This is what I do all day. Stare at people. So I'm going to use a lightscaping overlay, which I use in almost all of my workflow every time. This is my favorite. This is my favorite. Spotlight 5 and then just Spotlight. Since this is more of a, wow, I have no words today, an up and down portrait mode versus horizontal, vertical. There we go. I'm going to use this specific spotlight. You can use any of them if you have them. If you don't have them, I suggest them. They make my workflow depth drama 10 million times better. And I kind of love my overall galleries that I apply this method to. So I always take it off my client subjects, anything's face. Also, some of these overlays have that golden effect that I want, especially in the fall. Like, I probably wouldn't use this one in the summer, I'd use something different, but in the fall it's perfect for everything, but I never want it on my client's skin tone, just because sometimes it can give a jaundice look as well as making your background look awesome. You don't want your client to look like they are jaundicey. So I'm gonna up my flow a little bit, take it off a little bit of this tall grass we got sitting in, and I do make my clients sit a lot in tall wispy grass. So we have a lot of it here in southeast Missouri. So I'm going to take off this hard vignette effect kind of because I want to see the background, but I don't want it to feel like it's blocked in by these little black corners. So and back here, this is a red barn, so that's why it's already dark. And I'm going to take it off a little bit down here just because I want to make it more believable. So not a lot, just a little bit. Kind of shapes the light around my client, which is what it's supposed to do. And I'm going to go from here. So I'm going to show you how to clean up some skin if you have scars, acne, out of control facial hair, anything. I'm trying to think of what I've come across. I've come across a lot of things on people's faces, but for little kids, boogers, snot, you can do a lot of magical things with what I'm about to show you. So I am going to go in my Greater Than Gatsby actions. I like to use smoother, no detail. These other smoothers, if you guys have this or you're interested in the Greater Than Gatsby actions, they're all really great. I like the no detail ones just because they are more effective for what ideas I'm trying to display with my clients. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it pretty small and make him way big. It's over 100%. So, and I'm going to take these little individual blemishes that I see, and I'm just going to kind of flatten them down with this. Not going to go crazy over it because I don't want him to look too flat or too plasticky. Again, whenever I do soften skin, I do it about around 50-ish%. Never go over the bridge of the nose. I never go over the soft, squishy parts of the face. I always think if like your grandmother would grab it, like on your face, you know, like she's like, "Oh, you're so cute." That's the part I'm gonna soften, if that makes any sense. So a little bit there. I'm not going to do anything to beard hair, mustache hair, eyebrow hair, anything like that. It'll give you a weird, matted mess of a look. So don't do it. If you want to do it and try it and then tell me I was right later, you could do that too. So I need to make my eraser a little bit smaller. So and then I'm going to erase out things that I feel like I've kind of overly done. Just a little bit. So you can kind of see before, after, before, after. He has epic hair, right? Epic. See from a distance, before, after. So it just smooths it out. If you're worried about, if you're worried about these, see how you can still see some of the acne. My favorite thing is I'm going to take a layer, make a new layer. I don't ever label my layers just because I have a ton of stuff to do. You can label them if you want to. You're going to take your little eyedropper over here, and what I do is I kind of select the skin around it. This is your T-zone. If you're a girl, you probably know what that means. So in your T-zone, you have the most highlights, or at least that's where you want them in makeup and portraiture and blending. So what I'm going to do is drop this way down low, like 15 to 20-ish. You don't have to be crazy anal about it, but I'm going to take this highlighted color right about here. You can get real close and do it right here too, but I'm going to take it up here because I want it a little bit lighter. And then just kind of gracefully go over each little mark. So here's an example. Here's what it looked like before, after, before, after. So I'll probably do a little bit of this too. Never go full force with this or you will have a polka dotted face. You can play with it and find your ratio that you really like, something that works well for you. This works well for me. Everybody is a different tree, a different bird, different photographer, whatever. So find something that suits you. So I just select skin tones around them that I think will kind of mask those tiny little imperfections that we all have. So, and here's without the layer, with the layer, without with. So I'm going to zoom out, see what you think. I think it looks good. I enjoy it. So one thing I'm going to do, we've got our lightscaping overlay. I'm liking the way that is. We smoothed the skin and created a layer mask to kind of get rid of those extra little pesky blemishes. I'm going to selectively sharpen parts of his eyes, as well as maybe some highlighted pieces. So here is a way close-up. This is about 200%. I'm going to go over the catch. Oh, I got to turn my opacity back up. Right about there. This one is a little bit darker. I'm kind of okay with that because I know how cloudy it was that day. I'm going to drop it back down for just a teeny tiny bit, and I'm going to go over a little bit of the highlights of his lips, and then also a few strands of hair, just for some light and depth appeal. So you can see what it looks like with, without, with. I know that eye looks a little alarming way up close, but in the portraiture of it, it looks kind of natural. So, man, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add a tiny little catch light. You can also do this, but you have to be very meticulous. So I'm going to take the color of his other catch light in the brightest I can get it, so just be careful with your little dauber. And I'm going to put it probably in about the exact same location at the tiniest size I can. Kind of brighten that up. So we'll see how it goes. This is one of my favorite parts of portraiture. I love shooting, I love interacting with my clients, but I also love creating custom art pieces that they're going to want to hang, that they're going to want to print, you know, the whole thing. So I was a fine art major, so I majored in, sorry, I can't talk and do two things. I majored in photography as well as drawing and painting, anatomical drawing and oil painting as well. I love it. I think I get a lot of my techniques from my fine art background, so I'm happy with it. I'm loving this. I'm going to add a little foreground blur. I'm going to add in a little brown, where's it at? Soft brown ground. That's hard to say. Soft brown ground. Anyways, okay. Soft brown ground, no brown ground. I kind of like it at 50%, so I'm not going to change it a lot. But I am going to manipulate it because I'm going to add blur the background. And I'm not going to crop it. I'm not going to move him. I'm not going to do anything like that because I like the composition. I think I addressed that in one of my other videos. I try to compose things the way, I don't know, the way that I want them, so I don't have to go back in post and crop and resituate where I think he should be. Like, I kind of navigate that in my mind prior to. So, and this is at a low opacity, 27%. My flow is at 70, and you can futz with those however you kind of like. So there's that. And that's probably all I'll do. I think it looks great. I'll show you the beginning, final product. Thanks for watching.